I have an exciting announcement to share with you today. The Miraculous Success Academy 2024 is open now for you to join. So if you are an entrepreneur who has been thinking about epic levels of success in your business, and you have had that niggle inside that's like, this is my year. This is the time I am going all in. This is the time I am really stepping up and rising. Then this is for you. I want you to join me in this incredible experience where you get to spend some time with me as your coach, mentor, guide, and you get to learn, expand, and grow with other amazing women who are all on a journey to make incredible impact in this world. So if that's you, make sure you go and have a look at the links in the bio and come and join us. What have you got to lose? 2024 really is going to be your year. Hope to see you in there. Welcome to the Soulful Badass Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Jackson, an intuitive success coach from the UK, and I'm here to help entrepreneurs, leaders, and soul-aligned goddesses to create epic levels of success and impact in your life and your business. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you are tuning in every week for mindset talk, manifestation, magic, and incredible interviews with other soul-aligned entrepreneurs. So hit the subscribe button, and I'd love to invite you to come and join the Soulful Badass community. All the links are in the show notes. Please go and click them, and I'll see you in there. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast. This week I want to talk to you about a secret to success that not everybody focuses on, but makes a huge difference to how successful you are in your life and business. Now, what might I be talking about? Is it limiting beliefs? Is it working on your mindset? No, not quite. It is, who are you saying you are? Your identity is so important when you are trying to be successful. The big difference between successful people and people who want to make it is who they say they are. They know that their identity is chosen, not formed. Now, let me explain. What often happens through life, we build a persona of ourselves, and it can come from a young age where you're born into a certain family. You start to think, what does that mean to you? You're told by society what that means to you. There'll be a level of wealth in your family that'll define what you say about yourself, what you say you can have. So your identity forms along the way, and we call it our persona. And it's who we say we are. So for instance, for me, I'm a white middle-class person from a small town in a place which is very remote in kind of the way of Britain. I'm not near a big city. I'm not connected to things. So with that persona came many, many limitations. And I used to, use this as a way to think, well, if I wanted to be successful, because my level of success did not match that persona. It did not match somebody coming from a small town in the north of the UK that had limited opportunities. So for me, success did not seem as achievable as if I lived in a city or if I lived somewhere that was a bit more connected. So I had limitations on myself due to that persona. I also see myself as a middle child. I had certain limitations on myself due to that, not trying to outshine siblings, always trying to be the peacemaker, so maybe putting myself second. So again, I had limitations due to what I was classing myself as, the middle child, which often give me a victim identity. So I had all of these things that I was stacking up and owning them with pride. That was who I was. That was part of my identity. And I didn't know that I could change it. I didn't know that I could decide I'm not just a girl from a small town. I'm a successful CEO and empire builder. Like that did not even cross my mind. So until I realized you can change your identity, you can change who you are saying you want to be. And when you do that, what actually happens is you change the elements about it. So, for instance, we often work on our limited mindset, our belief patterns, our habits, but we do it from the persona or the identity that we are currently holding on to. So you might be saying you're a victim from your childhood, you've went through childhood trauma, and then you're trying to work through the healing, you're trying to work through the mindset, you're trying to be successful, but you're holding on to this energy of, I was a victim in my childhood. And when you do that, the two cannot coincide. You can't be a victim and a successful person at the same time. You have to decide to let one go. But often what happens is when things get tough, we revert back to victim mode rather than saying, we're not a victim anymore. We're a successful person who's healed from that trauma. So there's energy that you'll be holding on to or personas that you're holding on to, often with pride without realizing. It becomes your badge of honor. It becomes who you think you are. And when we do that, what we bring is those limitations and mindsets that are linked to whatever identity you are saying you are. So if, for instance, you're saying yourself as a survivor, you're saying yourself as a someone who's come through childhood trauma, who's had that life, you're still saying that you were a victim. Or are you saying, I'm a leader now, I'm a change maker, I'm an influencer, I use my past as a power to influence others. It doesn't have the ability to hold on to me. There's a very different identity to someone who uses that as a power rather than sits in it. So what we have to do is choose who it is that we want to be. Because if you say you are an influencer, suddenly you have a level of power. Your mindset is different to someone who is overcoming trauma. So if you are overcoming trauma and you're saying you're overcoming trauma, there's a very different mindset. You feel like you're coming from behind. You feel like there's still work to do. You might be telling yourself you're not healed yet. You've not got there yet. You've not done it yet. Whereas if you're saying you're an influencer, what you're saying is, I am already influencing. I am impacting others. I am powerful. I am successful. I am already doing this. It's a very different energy. So you have to decide who it is you want to be. So whether that's a empire builder, an entrepreneur, what is it that you want? Do you want to be that influencer? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to be known to be an expert in your field? What is it that you want to be? And then you need to start owning it today. It's really good timing because we're in the middle of the Olympics, and I don't know whether you've been watching any of it, but those Olympians are not saying, I am a swimmer or I want to be an Olympic swimmer, those types of things. They're saying to themselves, I'm an Olympic swimmer, I'm a gold medalist. And they'll be telling themselves that before they've actually won anything, before they've actually got to that point. They'll be visualizing in their head, they are a gold medalist swimmer or they're a gold medalist in the Olympics. That is what they're going for. That is what they're striving for. That is what they see. And that's what they're making themselves believe because they're telling themselves they've got the identity. If they don't tell themselves that, they'll always have that level of doubt, or they'll always be coming from a different belief system than I am an Olympic gold medalist. There is a very different energy between saying that you're working towards it or saying you are an Olympic gold medalist. And once you claim that identity, you don't have to be that identity yet. But what happens is when you step into that identity, you have a different belief system that starts to come in. You have a different habits. You show up differently. So when we're saying about your healing, your mindset or your limitations, you're not doing it from a state of being in that victim mode. You're not doing it from a state of being on the back foot. You're doing it from the power that you need. So what do you need to believe to be that entrepreneur, to be that millionaire, to be that CEO, to be that Olympic gold medalist? What do you need to believe to get there? And that's where once you put on that identity, those beliefs start to come through. You start to get the ideas, you start to get the mantras, you start to get the confirmation of what you need to believe. So actually your habits then start to change. You start to show up more at training. You start to show up more in your business. You start to show up more in line. You start to put yourself out there to scary situations because you are that CEO. You're stepping into that energy. It's a very different space to saying, oh, I'm starting a business. This is how a lot of people get tripped up. They'll start a business and they're still in that, I'm new to business. I'm starting a business. Are you an entrepreneur or not? That's the difference. You might not have had the success that you see as giving yourself that title as entrepreneur, but you're not going to get to that place unless you decide that's who you are, unless you bring that into your identity. I mean, all the other stuff that you formed as your identity, why do you think that's true? Why are you believing that about yourself? Because often it's not, it's what you've been told. So really have a look at what have you been saying about yourself? Who have you been saying that you are? And start to change that from today. Because once you step into that energy, believe me, everything changes. It has been the difference between me in 2022 to 23 to my profits in 23 to 24 have upped by 85%. And this has been the difference, my identity. I have stopped saying I'm building my business, I'm growing my business, I'm, all them things that are just starting out, just tweaking. So what I decided in 2023 was I was building an empire. I am an empire builder. I am an entrepreneur that has multiple streams of income and it is making 7 figures. And what has happened is my income has nearly doubled in that time frame. So really start to think of what are you saying about yourself? Because just by making that change and just by stepping into saying, I am an entrepreneur, a coach for women who make massive impact. So not only claiming my identity, but saying the identity of the people that I work with as well has super changed my business. Like I've been looking at my profits, I've been scanning what's been happening, and literally 85% growth just by making this change. Because as soon as I made that change, everything started to slot into place because I wasn't playing small anymore. I wasn't putting offers out that didn't feel right or didn't feel good enough or didn't feel like I was really stretching myself because I was teetering on the edge. I was just growing. I was just trying things. I was just learning. And that's not the case. I'm bringing to my business years worth of training, years worth of knowledge, years worth of life skills. Who am I to say I am not that entrepreneur? And this is the thing, you've maybe just started your business, as in opened your tax account and done those things. But how long have you been preparing for it? You've been preparing a whole lifetime, if not past lifetimes. So stop calling it a little business or a side hustle or a hobby or all the things that you're saying. Start to own that you are the entrepreneur and you are the expert in your field. What are you the expert in? Because I know that I'm the expert in energetics. I absolutely know my worth now. And that is another identity that I have been saying over the last year that has made that difference in the income shift. It hasn't been that suddenly I'm doing massive difference. It's that I'm owning my identity and what I bring to the table. I know that I can work with an entrepreneur, and from one of those sessions, I can pinpoint where they've got energy leaks. I can pinpoint where they're talking down about their business, where they're talking down about themselves. I can spot language. I can spot the dips in emotions. I can spot so much in their energy field and the energetics of their business that I can draw that to the surface for them and show them exactly how to change that and transform it around and transmute that energy. That is an absolute power. And that isn't something that's defined by a certificate. It's not something that's been like, oh, I'm going to go to energetic school and suddenly that's going to be the certificate I get. This has been years worth of learning, years worth of pulling things together. And that's what makes me an expert in my field. It's not one thing that you're going to go out and get a certificate for. You will have all of these pieces of information that make you absolutely unique, that make you the expert in whatever you do. So now's time to put on that identity, own that identity. What is it you do with power? And own who you are. Because that has been the only difference that has made that 85% jump in my business. And this is going up. Like by the end of the year, I can't wait to see what that figure is. Is it going to be 200%? Because believe me, it could be 300%. I'm excited to see. So where are you going to be once you start putting on your new identity? What identity are you going to be saying now? And what is it you're going to own about yourself and your business? Because believe me, once you do that, your mindset starts to change, your habits starts to change, and everything starts to up. But the big thing with it is you can't wear two identities. So you can't hold on to your past one that made you feel all comfortable. And even though it didn't feel good because you were maybe saying you're a victim, it was still a comfort zone. So you have to actually let that identity die. And to do that, you've got to stop clinging on to it. You've got to stop going to it. You've got to stop saying it's you. So there's a level of awareness when you do this. You've got to catch yourself. You've got to set yourself reminders. You've got to do affirmations. You've got to do the things that step in and remind you each day who you are at the core. Who is that new identity? You've got to start saying it on repeat. You've been telling yourself you're a victim, or you're just starting your business, or this business is a side hustle, or you're just starting out. Whatever you've been telling yourself for a long time on repeat. So you've got to do the same with your new identity. You've got to step fully into it and say it regular. Step into the energy regular. Dress like that person. Do your hair like that person. Show up online like that person. There is a very different energy to who you want to be and who you are as a successful version of you. So make sure you are stepping into that energy. And this is what we call acting as if. It's not faking it till you make it. It's not being something else. It's just getting your head around the fact that you could be so much more than you are letting yourself be. So please don't underestimate the power of this. This has been the massive game changer in my life, and I cannot justify how good it has been. It's been incredible. But this is the bones of what I teach in MSA. When I say Miraculous Success Academy, we step into what is the most miraculous version of success for you, and who are you when you have that success? What does that look like for you? So that you can form that identity. So over the next 6 months, if you join MSA, we are going to be understanding what is the most successful version of you. Who do you need to be? And let's become that version. It's not a case of let's, step it on, try it on, and then move out. You are being and becoming that person, that version of you. So if you are ready to fully shed the old version and step into who you were born to be, then that's the mastermind for you, believe me. And it's open till Friday. So do not miss out. Do not miss your place. Because this is what I have done in my business. This is what I have done in my own energy and confidence. And it's made so much difference. Like, I love now talking about my offers, talking about what I do, stepping into what I do with confidence, like saying, I am a master of energetics and I bring that to my clients. That is something I teetered around for years. And I used to touch on, oh, well, I do some manifesting and I do this and I do that. No, I can read your energy. Like, you sit me down, I know exactly where your energy's been leaked. I know exactly where your energy is being leaked in your business. I know where you're mirroring stuff. So if you're having trouble outside, I can see where that's mirroring in yourself, and then I can go in and heal that. So I am not messing around here. Like, I know that I'm a master at that. And once you understand that you are a master at what you do, you can change your whole world. And it's a game changer. So I hope you start to say, who you want to be rather than who you've been told to be. And you step into this energy because you have so much more to give this world. And I can't wait to see what identity you're going to be putting on. And if you want to come and join the Soulful Badass Telegram group, come and join it. That's where you get to contact with me, have a bit of a chat. I'll post my daily videos and we get to all grow together. So if that sounds good, go and join the free Telegram group. But I do hope to see you in Miraculous Success Academy because I want absolutely amazing souls in there that are here to do massive things. So if that's you, make sure you come and join that, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.